You actually mentioned treating women rights and all of that. I want to ask you a stereotypical question regarding Kotobe. So, have you heard? Have you heard the stereotype? If you want to lose weight, date a Kotobe.
I have.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know why you guys are accusing us.
So, what's your type?
My type?
Yeah. What do you look for?
Firstly, man, you have to be extremely beautiful.
Ooh.
Like,
emphasis on extremely.
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy where I walk in the room with you, I feel like all heads should turn.
Yeah.
Like, yo, who's that girl? They must notice you before
must be
me.
Like, hey.
You know, yeah. It surprised me. It really surprised me. Because even when I was in the house, I was like, why do I keep on surviving? I really didn't understand. I was like, man, like, who's keeping me in this house, man? You know? And then I keep on surviving. Next thing you know, finale, I'm like, whoa, okay.
That's crazy.
What? So I might go home with 2 million today?
Back again, another episode on the 21st Century Podcast. It's your girl, Ole Oceans Gray, and today I'm joined by the multi-talented Bona. It's Rubizi. I am joined by an entrepreneur. He's also in the media space, and he's just doing the absolute most. Joined by Mr. Sniper himself, Sinaye Kotobe.
Yeah, man.
How you feeling?
I'm all good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm so happy to have you, actually.
Thank you for having me, man.
Super happy. So I usually jump into a little icebreaker, but I think because we're already familiar with each other, we'll just get straight into it.
All right, let's
go with that.
Let's go.
So I want to get into your background first and foremost. So I know that you're from the East Coast vibe.
Yeah.
You're an Eastern Cape man, you know. So let us know all about that. Like, how's your upbringing been, and what is your background, and just family dynamics?
Oh man, that's a good question. I had a very lovely upbringing. I grew up in a very Christian-oriented home. You know, I grew up Ep28 actually, which happens to be the capital of Eastern Cape. Not a lot of people
like
that.
to.
You
disclaimer.
Know? Yeah, man, capital. But yeah, I grew up Ep28. Went to school and at an all-boys school from grade 1 right up until matric. And yeah, man, sport has always been a part of my life because of the school that I went to. Obviously, it's an all-boys school. I think that's how my passion for sport developed. And I was like, hey, man, the sports broadcasting thing might not be a bad idea, you know? So I grew up in that environment. I wouldn't say I have the story of, oh, man, from rags to riches or anything like that. I don't, you know.
Okay.
I grew up in a comfortable home with parents, both my parents, my 2 older sisters, a very loving environment, you know. It was just, I had a very amazing childhood, man. Yeah.
And then the type of support that you received from family, because you mentioned sport, were they very supportive?
Very, very. I'd say my dad in particular, because he's gone to a lot of my games when I was in high school and in primary school. He's watched almost all of them. And yeah, with everything that I do, man, my family has just always been like very, very supportive of whatever I decide to do. Yeah.
I'm actually intrigued by the fact that you mentioned going to a boys' school, because I went to a girls' high school.
Really?
And I can just imagine, I know usually it's like brotherhood. Did you face any challenges with that?
In terms of brotherhood or just growing up?
Just growing up in a boys' school.
Actually, no. I don't know. I think my character, the way I'm like, it's like I was made for that kind of environment, you know. For me, it just taught me a whole lot of tradition, respect, and just your general mannerisms, man, on how to treat women and how to behave around people and how you can become an upstanding man in society as well. So for me, it just brands a line, man. You know,
you actually mentioned treating women rights and all of that. I want to ask you a stereotypical question regarding Kotobe. So have you heard the stereotype, if you want to lose weight, date a Kotobe?
I have.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know why you guys are accusing us, because
So
that's not true.
Come on, every Kotobe I've ever engaged with, it's always just been.
You've got that experience. I think, man, you should answer that. You could answer
firsthand. No, it's been crazy. Like all I can say is it's just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. Like it doesn't get better.
I think for me, man, and that whole heartbreak thing, man, it's just whoever, all tribes, man.
Yeah, like according to the person's character.
It depends on the person that you're dealing with at the time. But yeah, I have heard of that stereotype a lot of the time.
Okay, what would you say actually is instilled, or is there a specific trait that's instilled within them as they grow up, or do you think that it just, like you mentioned, goes according to different people's character?
Yeah, man. There's a saying in Xhosa, it is khala ngokhala, zihluke ngenhlanti, ne? What that means, is that all homesteads kind of look the same, you know, but the difference is inhlanti is like the rooftops.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So there would be like a general base that we've
Yeah.
got as Amadoda, you know, and as Xhosa, you know, a general base. But at the end of the day, like, you can't all like tie us with one bow.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
understand what
not
I'm
fair.
saying? Yeah. So I think the general, from what I've experienced and my worldview, the general, I'd say base that's put out there is just respect, man. Like, respect is put out a lot. You know, you respect older people, you know, women, younger people. Just respect is the main thing that was being drilled into me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So getting into, just your career, first and foremost, I see that you're into entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
media in general. You're just very versatile. So when did you firstly discover your passion for media?
For media, oh man, since I was a kid, actually, I've always wanted to do it. But I'll be honest, the environment in which I grew up in didn't really allow me to pursue that.
What are you talking about?
So I'd always be like,
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was like, man, if I don't go for my dreams, then I'll never get where I really want to go.
True.
So I just had to just close my ears,
Block
tunnel
out the
vision,
noise.
and then just do what I need to
your
do,
thing.
man. So I'd say since I was a kid, since in primary school, man, we do those drama plays, and I'd present and I'd read. Yo, there were awards I'd get as a kid. I'd be like the best reader, I don't know, since my entire primary school. So since then, I was like, hey, man, I think
This could be something.
Yeah, there's something, man.
All right, cool. And then I also wanted to touch on the fact that, you obviously wear all of these different hats. It's the entrepreneurship, it's media, it's also just tapping into different things. I saw something about acting as well, So with all of these, just wanting not to be confined to a specific career.
Yeah,
it gets overwhelming, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah.
It really
So how
does.
do you balance it?
Man, I manage my time by also just locking in on the things that I really want to do the most, and just managing my time very well. Obviously having management does help.
Yeah.
You can't do everything alone.
True.
That's one thing. You have to have a very good team around you in order for you to be able to just balance things out properly. The support of my family, my friends, just it helps. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I'll speak to them. I pray a lot as well, in terms of keeping my mental state in the right way. I pray a lot, and I make sure that I meditate, man, and just make sure I never lose touch of myself, because you could drown in all of that, So yeah, that's how I'd say I handle all of that.
That's true. And I feel like more than anything, this is only the beginning for you. Like, there's still more coming. So it's very important to remain grounded and have all of these structures of support to help you navigate all of these spaces, So that's very, very profound. And now to get into what everybody's been asking about, Big Brother.
Oh, man.
Big Brother.
Yeah.
So, Abudi, how did your family feel? Like, what was the first reaction? Like you mentioned already, like coming from a black family, for instance, like the whole media space is usually not like really looked at with like, a sense of superiority. It's always just inferior towards compared to other careers, They don't really view it in this beautiful light that it could be, especially if we're following it for passion purposes. It's not just for selfish means or whatever, but we're genuinely passionate about these spaces. So how did your family actually feel?
I think for me, I was lucky because I come from a family that just loves Big Brother in general.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My parents like
Fair.
love the show since I was a kid, And even when I was a kid, I'd be like, I wonder what I'd do if I'd go on that show. But then I'd be like, nah, that's not my thing, And then, I told him one day, because I think it was last year I'd come to Johannesburg trying to pursue this dream of like sports broadcasting and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, I came for like a couple of weeks or days. I don't really remember, but I was just like trying to knock at the doors of the people who I know, And what I realized was that you kind of need to have some weight, man, in order to knock on some of these doors,
True.
And I saw this opportunity. I was like, yo, Big Brother auditions. I was like, man, I know the platform that show could give you. Let me utilize that to knock at these doors that I want to knock at, So I told them. They were like, okay. They were shocked, but they were very supportive. They're like, okay, let's do it, man. And as soon as I got the email that, hey, man, and the call, pull up, they're like, all right, boy, it's time.
You're inside.
It's time, man. It's time.
Yeah. So what would you say was your strategy going into the game? Besides like obviously wanting to create a name for yourself outside of the house, going in, what did you have in mind?
Yo, to be honest, man, I had no strategy.
Really?
I had zero strategy. I think even when you watch how I played the game, you can tell that
Vibes.
this guy, he's just going with the waves, man. He doesn't even know. My strategy, like I even said before, was to just get there and just be the best possible version of myself that I can be. You know, that was the only strategy that I had. Also, I think it's very difficult to formulate a strategy with players that you haven't even met yet. You know, so how can you begin to tell myself, I'm going to do like this? And you get there and you meet a character that's not even in the game plan. Do you understand? So formulating a game plan and all of that before the show, it might work for some, hey? But for me, I was just like, nah, you know what? Let me just go out there and do me, man.
Yeah. And what would you say was the biggest challenge for you being inside?
Being away from my family for that long. I've never been away from my family and my loved ones for that long, you know, just being in complete isolation like that, away from them, because I'm someone that's very family oriented, and I depend on them a lot. Like, I'll call them for the tiniest of things, on which color shirt should I get, you know, and then you get onto that show and every single decision you make
it's all on
you,
me.
You know. So I was like, yo, how am I gonna handle this? That for me was the most difficult part, for sure.
I get that.
Yeah.
And reality versus expectations, what would you say was like super mind-blowing for you when you got in?
The love. Okay, when I got in the show.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I've never thought about it. Expectations was, I had no real expectations about the show, of how it was going to be like. What shook me was the fact that we had to go to the gym at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. every day in the morning.
Really?
I did not know that. And how they woke you up with those annoying alarm clocks, those roosters that would go off every morning. That I didn't see that one coming. But for me, my expectations, I thought it was going to be like on some, you just chill in this
Live
house
your
and
best
you
life.
do whatever you want the whole day. But I got there, I was like, this is kind of like training camp, man. It really was, because every week you work towards a task on Thursday, and that task will challenge you to the max. You know, you have to be an actor one day, you'll have to sew clothes the next. You know, you paint, you become Picasso, man. You know, there's so many things you have to see. Like, it really gets you out of your comfort zone. Because when you watch it on the outside, you just think, man, this is just fun. You're just watching people have fun. You know, they get free food, free
But they
everything.
don't know.
Yo, but when you're in there, it's a whole different ballgame, man. That show was, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not easy.
I think for me, my biggest fear or challenge would be my family seeing a different side to me. You know, like my family thinks I'm this nwele, you know, like church girl, all of that. And if they see me outside like that, like I don't know how I would act. So how do you feel? Like, were you like a bit anxious about your family seeing a different side to you?
I was, because my parents had never even seen me take a sip of alcohol before. So that, and there was this famous Captain Morgan night that I had there, where I was just having fun. I was having fun, you know? And when I came out, I was like, oh my goodness, what are my parents going to say about this? But their reception of it, man, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't bad, actually, you know? It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. They understood that, yo, I was in that environment. I had to do what I had to do, you know? And to them, I'm just happy that they're just proud of me throughout everything, you know?
100%.
And one thing that they emphasize that, yo, man, we're so proud of how you carried yourself there. Like, you represented us very well as a family. So.
Exactly. I think more than anything, your family knows you.
Yeah.
So they know that you would never put yourself in a position to intentionally jeopardize your image.
Yes.
You know, so they know you at the core. So, yeah. And then I also wanted to ask you, if something were to take place outside of the house, like a tragic event, and you're inside, do they inform the housemates of like certain events, or is it just like...
Yeah, no, they definitely inform you. With Uliema, Mkayawam, you know, her grandmother passed during the show, and they called her in and they told her that, hey man, this tragic event just happened, you know, and they give you the option as well that you can either stay or go home, you know. For me personally, I always say, if had something like that occurred to me, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. I would have left.
So if you were to give someone top 3 tips on surviving the Big Brother house, what would you say?
Know yourself when you're going to go there. Like, be very self-assured. Like, be very grounded. Like, know yourself. Study a bit about the show before you go in. Like, watch a little bit of it before you go in, so that you have an idea of what kind of actually happens around you. And the third tip would be, just go out there and have fun. Like, from the start, don't hold back. Go out there and show people who you are. Come out guns blazing, you know, because you never know how long you're going to be on that show for. Next week you could leave, you know, and there are a lot of people that watch that show, you know, and big people, companies, if you have got a talent in singing, but the first week you're like, nah, let me not show them now. Do it now, you know, because there might be a record label that's out there watching you, and they're like, hey, man, Ole's got some pipes, man. Let's have her over. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those would definitely be my top three tips.
Lovely. I love the points about doing the research. You know, people go in with a certain idea, but it's important to be teachable firstly and just equip yourself with the knowledge that you know how you're going to navigate the entire experience, and also like if it's for you, because you also need to be intentional about what you're doing. Don't just do it for the sake of, you know. So yeah. And then I saw your support that you got from your snipers. That was crazy. Like, you guys received so much support. Like, you'd think that maybe by the end of the show, the hype would die down. People ride with you from the day you enter till forever. Like, it's so crazy. Like, how was that love for you?
It surprised me. It really surprised me. Because even when I was in the house, I was like, why do I keep on surviving? I really didn't understand. I was like, man, like, who's keeping me in this house, man? You know? And then I keep on surviving. Next thing you know, finale, I'm like, whoa, okay.
That's crazy.
What? So I might go home with 2 million today, you know? And then coming out, I think it was the second day when I was out, my family comes to see me at the hotel that we were staying at. They come with a
check.
40K check. I'm
Sir.
Like, what in the world? I'm like, they're like, yeah, man, these are your snipers. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Because at the time, we hadn't even gotten our cell phones yet, you know. So I think we got them, third day, second day when we were out. I don't remember. But I hadn't really seen anything.
Engagement.
Yeah, anything like how would people think about me? Nothing. So seeing that check and all the other gifts, the cash gifts that they came with and other things, I was like, man, I didn't see this coming, you know. But it's beautiful. Like, I love the support, man. It's just love. Even when I'm out and about, it's just love, man, you know.
I can imagine. So the day you received your phone, what is the first thing you did?
I called my family, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called them.
Yeah.
And then I hopped on my socials immediately.
How did you feel? Like, you know, sometimes like those negative comments, it's just like...
Yeah. You see, with that, I think for me, being in that house was training for me in terms of dealing with negativity. Because in that house, you know, there were going to be people who don't like you or be saying the most messed up things about you, you know. But you have to keep it rolling.
True.
So for me, when I came out already, it was just like I was already bulletproof. You know?
And you were also like excited to see your family.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was very excited. So I went on my phone. I checked socials. I was like, what? Because when I went in, I think
followers
I'm like, what in the world? What is going on here? I was like, when I went in, I was like 5K followers on
now you're
Instagram.
Like over 100K, bro.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? When I came out, though, I was on like 45, 46. Still, I was like, geez, bro, this is crazy. How? You know, and then, yeah, man, just seeing all the positive messages people were sending to me, like just all the love. It was crazy. I was like, whoa, like things have really changed now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that segment. Now we're gonna get into something spicy that everyone probably wants to know.
Let's go.
The $1 million question is:
yeah,
are you in a relationship?
You see, with that one there, I'll be very honest with you. What I learned from going on that show is that I will never ever disclose my relationship status ever
Come
again.
on.
No, that's facts. Y'all are just gonna see me pop out married.
Hey,
like, what?
You're just gonna see a ring.
How? What? Yeah, man. Because also on that, being in this life, man, there's two people involved in every situation like that. You know, because it's like it not only affects you, but it affects the other person. And I'm not someone that like speaking about someone that's not in the room.
Yeah.
Maybe if my partner was here, if I had one, I'd speak.
So you don't.
I don't know, man. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Yeah.
So you don't.
I don't know.
Not confirming nor denying.
I won't confirm. I won't deny, man. Just know the boy is happy.
Okay.
Happy. The boy is happy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to be with someone that understands your line of work?
Oh yeah, it is actually. It's very important because this life can get very like hectic, you know, and grueling. And if someone doesn't really understand what you go through on a day-to-day basis, they might not be the right fit for you, you know, and they might like kind of, I don't know how to put it. Maybe you guys might not go well together, you know. But yeah, you have to be very acquainted with someone that knows exactly what happens in your day-to-day life, and someone that understands the environment that you're now placed in. It will make things very easy.
Would you then say you'd rather be with someone within the same line of work or not?
No. Just that as long as they understand what you go through, like I said, on a day-to-day basis, you know. I don't have to be with someone that's in the same line of work as me. Like, nah. As long as you break it down, I feel like communication on my end as well, on your end, if you're in the same shoes as myself, would be very imperative, because then you break it down for your partner that, okay, listen,
This is what
this
takes
is what's
place.
happening, this is what's happening, and then the prerogative is on them if they choose to understand it or not. You know?
Fair.
Yeah.
So what's your type?
My type?
Yeah.
Type?
What do you look for?
Firstly, man, you have to be extremely beautiful.
Ooh.
Like, yo,
emphasis on extremely.
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy where I walk in the room with you, I feel like all heads should turn.
Yeah.
Like, yo, who's that girl? They must notice you before
Must be
me.
like, hey.
You know, that's physically, right? When you're speaking about character, someone that's kind, man. You know, you have to be kind, generous. You know, someone that's very respectful as well. I think those are the qualities that I look for when I'm in a relationship. Yeah.
Okay. And then life now.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Big Brother house, how did you feel first and foremost about just stepping back into reality?
It felt like I was stuck in a simulation, man. It was a bit crazy. I took some time adjusting though, because it was like you come out. I thought I was gonna come out and just like breathe for a bit, go home, you know, chill with my family for like a week or two. I came out, I was like, nah, bro.
Business, baby.
Work, you know. Immediately work, and I was like, geez, and is this person saying this in your ear, that person, and everyone has an expectation of you, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where do I find time to breathe, you know? And yeah, I think I just had to quickly adapt, like immensely, you know. Just don't think about it, just get with the ball, man, and then keep it rolling. Because also the Big Brother fame, I feel like it's and the opportunities that come, it's not really long lasting.
True.
You know, it's very fleeting.
Right on the way.
Yeah. So while you need to strike while you're still hot, you understand? So I was told that, you know, by the people around me. I was like, okay, let me also just comply and do that, you know, and try build some longevity, because I'm all about longevity.
True.
You know? Yeah.
Fair. And then obviously now you're based in Joburg, you're the side full time. How's that been so far?
Joburg has been good. It's been good, man. I kind of feel like I belong here, you know. I really do. Aside from the unfortunate incident that happened to me, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, where I had my phone snatched.
Hectic.
You know, yeah, that's something that would never happen to me.
You were probably like, what?
I'm like, what what kind of crazy nonsense is this? You know,
that's about to happen, but
yeah. So
protected.
now coming here, you have to be like extra vigilant.
True.
You know, about your whole surroundings and environment. And yeah, man, Joburg has been good. It's been good, man. It's been treating me well. It's the promised land, man. Everything that I really wanted to achieve, I'm working towards, and it just feels like it's aligning with where I'm at in life right now.
Yeah, and also like being in a space where everyone's just grinding, it pushes you, gives you momentum as well. So that's amazing. And there's this line from a Casper song. It says, it's pretty much speaking about Johannesburg, and he says, when you show love, they say you're ass kissing.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like you get that statement when it comes to Joburg, or do you feel like friendships here could be genuine and you form real relationships?
Yeah.
Or is it like people really hang out with people that they feel like are associated with certain people, or the ass kissing and just
Man, I will be honest and say there's a whole lot of association here in Joburg. That's one thing I realized, that people cross each other a lot here. You know, some I don't know. You know,
bad.
Yeah, it's like, who are you again? You can sit with us, you know. You can't sit with us. It's that kind of environment. But thankfully for me, man, I just keep people who want to be around me and people who I want to be around. I'm not fazed by that whole you can't sit with us, or you can come and sit with us, or none of that.
Yeah.
I just stay in my lane and I do what I need to do, and I feel like the right people just gravitate towards 100%. Me. People who I need in my life always gravitate towards me. So in terms of that, man, it's not really been a problem that I've faced, you know, because I've always just stayed in my lane and just done me. Yeah.
All right, then which phase of your life would you say you're in right now?
Phase of my life would I say?
Like, if you were to give it like a season.
Yeah. It's winning season now, man. It's winning season. It's winning season. Blessings. It's we're no longer in the wilderness now. You know, God has just opened the floodgates, and it's blessings.
Let's go hard.
You know, it's blessings. Yeah. And within that, what's important is when you're going through your winning season, you need to be very appreciative and be aware that you're in the winning season, because there's a season for everything. You understand? There's a season to take losses, to take wins. And when you're in that, it's important to just remain grounded and remain humble, you know, and to just don't let it get to your head too much, you know. So yeah.
True. I love the fact that you mentioned religion.
Yeah.
And that draws me to a lot of people, and you're no different.
Yeah.
How important is Christianity in your walk?
Oh man, it's the basis of who I am.
Yeah.
I think if anyone followed my journey in the house, I even post, they know how Christ-centered I am in every single thing that I do. You know, literally. But even before this interview, I had a bit of a prayer inside. Driving in the car, like before eating. So I was at an event last week, and we were all about to eat. I was like, "Oh, yo, hold on, can we just say grace?" People are like, "What?
What's happening?
You know, whoa, when last did someone do that?" You know, but for me, that's just how much of a huge role that God plays in my life. You know, I'm very Christ-centered because I do believe that with my hands, I'm capable of nothing. You know, there's nothing that I could ever attain if I don't put him first. And that's why I go through seasons of winning, you know. It's because I put him first in everything. And even when I go through seasons of losing, I still put him first. And I just take the lessons from that. You understand?
I love that so much, because the fact that you are able to still remain within your godliness, no matter where you are, that's very inspiring to other people, because you don't know who, you know, is experiencing Jesus for the first time through you. You understand? So it's very important to leave a little bit of Jesus in every single person that we encounter. I'm very, very big on religion, especially, you know, Christianity. That's like, that governs my entire life. My boys are always making fun of me on some, women of God, you know, all those things, like
good.
prayer warrior. And I'm like, proudly. Proudly.
Give it to me, man.
Like, so I'm just like, it's very, very important to constantly exude that and give that people that energy, so that they can also be inspired and also just, you know, want to take that first step, because more than anything, we're called first and foremost to spread the word, to make disciples, you know. So yeah. Now we're going to close. But before we close, I have a little bit of a closing game for you.
Okay.
I want to put your sports broadcasting skills to the test.
Oh man, let's
Yes,
go.
you have a mic right there. Let's go. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a scenario, and then you'll just impromptu vibes. We'll improvise.
All
yeah.
right.
So Chiefs, Pirates, playing a game. Halftime right now.
Yeah.
Lepasa just scored a goal. It's 1-0. Chiefs.
To who?
Pirates has 1. Chiefs has 0 so far. So it's halftime. You need to talk about the game. It's just been hard defense from both ends throughout. You know, and now they're like, "Ayo, what you got to say about the game?"
Yeah, man. All right, should
Let's
I get
go.
it now?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. If you're just joining us, you are tuned into what is known as the biggest South African derby, not even in South Africa actually, the biggest African derby between Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. It's been end-to-end stuff, man. We've seen brilliant defending from both teams, but right now, as it stands, Orlando Pirates has taken the lead 1-0. Some might say it's not that much of a shocker because of how Kaizer Chiefs has been performing this past season, but the match is still far from ending. There's still a whole other 45 minutes left to happen, and we shall see what the boys have got in store for us, man. Stay tuned, everyone, and we shall see you guys after the break.
That was crazy.
Oh, that was terrible.
That was good. Improvise on your feet.
Yeah, man.
That was
Yeah,
good.
Man.
You know, like when I look at you, like if someone were to look at your social media first glance, you would never think.
Yeah.
Like you would think, cocky. He's gonna come here, you know, Drake level.
Wow.
All that, you know, energy and whatever. Like the
yeah.
stereotypes are insane.
Yeah,
but I just
man.
love how rooted in your faith you are.
Wow.
And how much of, you know, a go-getter you are, and you're just like focused. I love people that, you know, understand the goal that they have, plan it out and execute. Because it's very easy to have a dream.
Yeah.
It's very easy to think of an idea, but execution,
Yeah.
that's where the real winners are made. And that's where you see who really is getting that bag. You know, not just the social media, the daily posting. It's longevity, like you said, and not striving for instant gratification, but rather going hard, you know, and understanding that you could grind for 10 years with no results. On the 11th year, that's how you see how badly you want it, you know, if you're willing to go all 11 years. So I'm really, really happy to have you.
Thank you, man. Thank
I'm
you
glad
so
to have
much.
had this conversation with you.
Thank you.
And yeah, do you have any final words?
Just thank you to you as well and your team for having me over. I haven't done interviews in a very long time.
Yeah, you did say.
And yeah, I decided to say yes to this one because I mentioned to you off air, I was like, you look familiar. I think we might have gone to the same school, you know. And I just saw what you guys do on this platform as well. It's the kind of vibe that I go for when I go to interviews, you know. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. And yeah, man, I hope you guys continue with the work that you're doing. And I'm telling you now, this is going to blow up. It's going to go big, you know. The work that you guys are doing, it's amazing, you know. Keep at it. Keep on being a go-getter, like you're saying. and there's no way that you're not going to succeed. The sky
100%.
is the limit, really. You know,
100%.
there is no limit, actually. You know, just keep on pushing, like you're saying, put God first in your life. I don't even have a doubt that you do that, you know, and yeah, all those good things will be bestowed on you, man.
100.
But thank you so much for having me. I had a good time.
I had a good time too.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It's been absolutely amazing. We wish him the absolute best. We know that from now on, moving forward, we're about to see achievements upon achievements on our TVs, radio. It's just about to go crazy. We're ready for all that you have to offer. Thank you so much, guys. Please like this video, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and we'll catch you next week.